Talk, shop, pop, movies.
Well, hi there, this is Derek, the Convicted Cinephile. If you're a convicted cinephile yourself, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel down below. On my channel, I like to talk, shop, and pop open, that is, movies and physical media. So the Golden Globes are this Sunday, hurrah. I will definitely do a reaction video after those results come in, perhaps a live stream. We'll see how I feel. Depends on how sleepy I am. But just after that, on the 8th, both the Screen Actors Guild nominations will come out and the Directors Guild nominations will come out. So I'm going to do both of those predictions today via the Awards Expert app. Follow me on there if you don't. It's a fantastic little app, and it's nice to make your own personal best of the year, not just award stuff, but just movies in general. Let's do DGA first, because there's only two categories there. I'm going to do First Time Film Director first. There are 5 nominees. I think, along with most other people, according to the app, the movies nominated are going to be Nickel Boys, which I think could get into the main category as well, but I think if it misses there, since it is a first-timer, it'll get in here guaranteed, because I think it's going to get in at the Oscars potentially. Dee Dee, Sing Sing, which seems like a Best Picture play, but not so much director, but for this, I could easily see it getting in for first-time director. The Piano Lesson on Netflix, which I still need to get around to watching, but nobody else has, so I don't feel too bad. And All We Imagine as Light, which also got the Golden Globe nomination, which seems like an easy score, assuming it's eligible here. So those are the 5 I have predicted. It is the top 5 on the Awards Expert app odds. The only other one I was debating putting in was Janet Planet, because it's been winning a lot of awards lately at more independent and critics and such. So I won't be surprised if that's snuck in there. But I don't know what to boot is the thing, so we'll find out how wrong I am soon. And the main category, Best Directing of a Motion Picture. These are, not to go on a tangent, I kind of look at the DGA nominees for director, not so much as the ones that are going to get into the Oscars for sure, because that rarely ever happens. I look at these nominees as like the top 5 most likely Best Picture nominees at the Oscars to take seriously more often than not. So that's the gist. But how many will translate? We'll find out. Anywho, I'm going for Honora for Sean Baker, The Brutalist, Brady Corbet, or Brady Corbet, I believe, because it's French. He's only really done one other movie, Vox Lux, which I haven't seen. I heard mediocre things, so I didn't really have too much interest. This, I can't wait to see. The Brutalist is not really playing anywhere around me yet. I am excited to sit in the theater for damn near 4 hours for this one. Seems like it'll be my jam. This is the younger filmmaker breaking into the DGA here with a feat of filmmaking, if there ever was one. I have Denis Villeneuve for Dune Part 2. I don't think he's going to get in at the Oscars because he didn't last time. And this movie seems to be doing even worse than the first Dune. Not that the one did bad, obviously. But it's doing not as well as Dune Part 1 for some reason or another. Despite most people preferring it, it seems like. But if they snubbed him for that one, and that one won 6 Oscars, I think he's going to get snubbed again. But I don't think the DGA would snub him. He's too big of a name. Then I have Edward Berger for Conclave. I don't know if he's going to make it in at the Oscars. I think I'm predicting him at the moment. I have no reason not to yet. Conclave is a very good movie. Very solid. Well shot. A lot of good compositions and such. It's not like a huge scope film like The Brutalist or Dune Part 2. It's a much smaller, more intimate movie. But it's beautifully shot and directed and acted and all that fun stuff. So I think he'll get in here. He should have got in for All Quiet at the Oscars, I think. He won at the BAFTAs for that, which is like almost forgotten already because it kind of came out of nowhere at the last minute. But I love that movie. That was like my favorite one of that year. So I hope he gets nominated because he didn't for All Quiet, among other things. And then 5th, I have Emilia Perez for Jacques Audiard. He is a big name international director. I honestly haven't really seen any of his other work. This movie, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. A lot of people crap on it. I think it's fine. It's not the greatest thing ever. Directing, I kind of hope it doesn't get nominated at the Oscars. I feel like it will, but I'm hoping this one doesn't translate. Long story short, I really hope only 3 of these get in, assuming Dune Part 2 misses. But those are the 5 I have predicted right now. They are also the top 5 for the users. The Substance would be a cool thing to see. I think that's more likely at the Oscars than it is here. But if it gets in here, holy shit. Wicked is a very possible thing at DGA. Once again, I don't think it would get in at the Oscars. I think it's more likely at DGA because John M. Chu has been around the block, as I put it. Those are the only ones I really think are going to get in besides Nickel Boys, like I already mentioned. Anything else would be a shocker to me at this point. And that's enough about the DGA. On to the Screen Actors Guild nominations. We'll start off with the big one with Ensemble. I have, and I believe, once again, I try not to follow the users on purpose, but it just kind of works out this way. Sing Sing, Wicked, Honora, Conclave, and Amelia Perez. Conclave is a very ensemble picture where I think only Ray Fiennes and possibly the supporting actress, who's I'm bringing in front of your name right now off the top of my head, Isabella Rossellini. Thank you. Good thing I have the app up so I can double check and not sound like a complete moron, which I am. I think she will get in at the Oscars. I don't know what's SAG as much, but we'll see. Wicked seems like an easy in here. Sing Sing, it's very ensemble. Honora, there's fewer actors, but they're really solid, like the handful that are in there for most of the movie. Like I said, Conclave is very ensemble heavy. Amelia Perez is one that I could see missing because it's really only the three actresses, and all three of them could get nominated, but then it could miss ensemble. On to Best Lead Actress, I have Mikey Madison for Honora. She's going to get in everywhere, whether or not she wins. Angelina Jolie for Maria seems like a safe bet, even though no one really cares about that movie. Carla Sofia Gascon for Amelia Perez, I think will get in everywhere, but probably not really win anywhere. Cynthia Erivo, I think will get in at SAG. I think she might hit a few bumps along the way, like at BAFTA potentially, but I think she'll get in here. And then in the fifth spot, I have Demi Moore for The Substance. I think she's going to happen. It's her time, and she's a perfect SAG nominee. She's been around for decades now. The next best choice, I think, would be Nicole Kidman, because she's Nicole Kidman. But she hasn't been doing as well as these other actresses, but I could easily see her getting in. I just don't know who I would bump, is the thing. Angelina Jolie, as I heard someone say, might just be a red herring. And everyone just assumes she's going to get in, even though, like, nobody cares. And Marianne Jean Baptiste seems mostly like European BAFTA Critics' Choice thing. I don't think she would get in at SAG, but if she does, it would be amazing for her. But those top five, which once again are the top five most people agree on, seem like the obvious ones. I hope I'm wrong usually on most of these. I don't care if I get everything right. It's just fun. I want weird things to surprise here and there. I just hate when it's in, instead of something I was hoping would get in. Best Actor, I'm just going to go with what I think is going to be the Oscar 5. Actor is not as interesting as actress as far as nominee potential goes this year. It's been like that for the last couple of years, it seems like, which is a good thing for the actresses, I guess. Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, Colman Domingo for Sing Sing, Timothy Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Ray Fiennes for The Conclave, and Daniel Craig for Queer. I think it's just going to happen for him, despite, and once again, kind of like the Maria situation. Nobody seems to really care about the movie that much. It's just like, it's just going to be a good nomination for him, especially a first-time nominee like Daniel Craig. Other people who could sneak in here would be like Sebastian Stan, who's had a really good year. But for which movie? Who knows? It could be a different man. Probably The Apprentice if it did happen. Glenn Powell for Hitman would be a fun one since he's had such a great year overall. I could see that happening almost more for that reason than the film itself. Or Hugh Grant for Heretic would be awesome. He made in at Golden Globes and Critics' Choice, more surprisingly. I think he'll probably get into BAFTA because he's Hugh Grant. But if he makes it in at SAG and then BAFTA, if he gets everywhere, he could be the one squeaking into that fifth spot. You never know. But once again, I'm just going with the lazy top five. Supporting actress. This one was kind of different. I feel like I'm just doing this every time. Going with the top five here. I have Zoe Saldana for Amelia Perez. She's going to get in for sure. Ariana Grande for Wicked. She's going to get in for sure. Danielle Deadwyler for The Piano Lesson. I think she can get in here, but I would not be surprised one bit if she didn't, and if she just gets forgotten for the rest of the season. Felicity Jones for The Brutalist should get in here, especially if it's a top 2 or at least 3 Best Picture movie. And I'm going with Margaret Qualley for The Substance, only because she's been so strong so far. I don't want to doubt her until it happens, kind of a thing. Isabella Rossellini could easily get in. I wouldn't be surprised one bit if she gets in over Danielle Deadwyler, especially. I think that's what's going to happen at the Oscars. Selena Gomez could get in here, but she could just be part of that Amelia Perez ensemble if that happens. And Anjanou Ellis-Taylor, it might just be a little too small of a movie to get in here. Anything else would be a welcome surprise. Let's put it that way. Supporting actor. Once again, I'm probably going to the top five here. Yes, I am. I'm checking as I go. But this one seems pretty set here as well. For the most part, there's really six people fighting for five slots, in my opinion. We have Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain. He's going to be the sweeper until he doesn't, which it hasn't started yet, so we'll find out, except for in the critic circles. Clarence Macklin for Sing Sing. I have him here because he kind of needs it. If he can't get in here, he really probably won't get in at the Oscars, which is too bad. He's like the little engine that could in this category this year. Guy Pearce for The Brutalist seems too big of a thing to miss. The Brutalist is another example of a movie that has a few really good people that probably will miss that because I don't have a predicted ensemble. Because there's just as many people in that who could probably get nominated as there is in Amelia Perez, at least as far as roles worth nominating. They could each have three individual nominations, and either of them could hit ensemble, and they could both miss. But I think Guy Pearce will get in regardless. Denzel Washington, I have for Gladiator 2. I'm hoping he misses at the Oscars just because he doesn't need it, and I want something more interesting than Gladiator 2 to get in. But it's Denzel and it's SAG. How does he miss there? And then I have Edward Norton, kind of for the same reason, for a complete unknown. He seems more likely for the Oscar. I think the next best option is Yura Borisov, who I think will get into the Oscars over Denzel Washington. I think he'll get into the Oscars regardless, not necessarily just over Denzel. I think Clarence has a lower chance of getting at the Oscars over Yura based on how many people like that movie, Anora versus Sing Sing. But those are really the ones that I think will get in. Stanley Tucci could pop up finally because everybody loves Stanley Tucci and he's great. Brian Tyree Henry could show up, but you never know. You never know. Last but not least, the stunt ensemble. The Oscars hasn't done it yet, but at least SAG does it now, so that's cool. Um, I'm going with the five that make the most sense. Whether or not it happens, they always have one weird one, at least. Like, I'm afraid Wicked's gonna get in. That's the number six. I have the top five because I'm lame. I'm lazy and lame, apparently. But that's the one that I think could show up just because everybody loves it. Because that happens for some reason. Even though it makes no sense, in my opinion, for stunts. Like Barbie, I believe, got in for stunts. It's like, why? Why did that? No. So the ones that make sense that I have, that everyone else has for the most part, are Dune Part 2, The Fall Guy. If that doesn't get in, that's kind of like shameful because that's that whole movie. Gladiator 2 makes sense, sword fights and such. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, that should definitely get in. I'm not saying it'll definitely get in like it will. That should definitely get in, as in it deserves it. And then I have Deadpool and Wolverine because fight choreography. Hey, and I like Deadpool and Wolverine a lot, so it'll get a cool nomination somewhere. That's nice. It's popping up here and there. It's not a best picture movie, but if it gets a nomination at each one of these shows, that's cool. That's something. And that's what I have. Outside of Wicked being the Are You Serious nomination in that category that they always have once a year, I think that's an easy five. But, they all seem like easy fives until something shows up. But those are my SAG and Directors Guild nomination predictions. The nominees come out the 8th. I'll probably do a video reacting to those as well, as always, as soon as I can. I'll see you at the Golden Globes if I don't see you before then. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Shop, pop, movies.